Twila.
And I'm Natalie.
And this is Twila and Natalie,
where we chat with you about the joys and the pitfalls of being a grown woman through a series of intellectual questions.
I like how you say they're intellectual questions.
Yeah, they're not. They kind of are, but they're not. We like to keep things simple and real.
I wish they were sometimes.
Well, we make it simple and real.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the whole
I don't mind
idea.
that we cut the fat, so it's okay. We just get right to it. It's fine. I would say, yeah, pretty much.
We do.
Yeah, well, every week we pose a question, and it's usually something that pertains to us in our lives and what we're going through, and we do our best to answer that question for you as the listener. But not just from our perspective, hopefully from a bit of a universal perspective once it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these questions do come out of our own experiences. So this week I get to embarrass myself.
Yeah, these are things usually that one of us or both of us needs to actually work through. So this is our therapy time, and we're glad you're all sharing it with us.
Yeah, we'll send you a bill. No worries. So this week's question, it came out of my most recent experience, and the question is pretty simple. Is it okay to give up?
Now, when you say, is it okay to give up? Are you talking on tasks, or are we talking on hygiene?
Okay, well, let's just sort of, we'll start in one place and see kind of where it leads us. Mm-hmm. I just went on our family vacation, which is not really a vacation. It's actually a family trip.
Yep, family trip. Anytime you take your children, it is not a vacation. It is a trip.
Well,
and it's a family trip.
Yeah, it's whenever you take the chaos that is your everyday life at home and transport it to a strange location and try to keep that going.
Yeah, where you're still doing the cleaning, providing the food and all that stuff. That's not a vacation.
Yes.
That's a family trip.
Absolutely. So we went on a family trip. And while we were...
Which sidebar? Don't be fooled into thinking you still don't then need an actual vacation.
Yes, because you do. And I desperately do.
Each of us need our own vacation. Now, if it's a vacation for you to go with your significant other, good. Yeah. For me, I have that situation. If it's more of a vacation for you to go by yourself or with a girlfriend, do it. That's a vacation.
I'm planning on the last one.
You're going to need a vacation after this family trip where apparently you threw in the towel on something.
Yeah, I really did. So I will say usually when we take this little sojourn away from home, I at least make an effort to, be extra on vacation. I'm not, we're on vacation. We're out of town.
So you're out of the sweatpants.
Yeah, I pull out the cute clothes. I do
you're
my
in
hair.
public.
I make sure I got it right. Bring a little cute outfits for dinners.
Sure.
Mama sandals. Sometimes I get a manicure, pedicure if I got time. That kind of thing.
Yeah, as one should.
Right. And this is, and my significant other and I have been together for a long time. So almost 20 years. So I make the effort, and we both do. We both make the effort.
Yeah.
So we got on this trip. And the first part of the trip was at a lovely little beachside resort. I could see the pool from my back window and the ocean from my front window. It was beautiful. And, we immediately hit the ground running. We get there, we unpack, swimsuits on, everybody's in the beach. We're kayaking, paddleboarding, we're in the pool. And listen, that says something about me because, water and me are not friends.
No, it doesn't go well with the black hair experience.
No, and I was in the water. I was doing all of it, right?
Not did you get your hair wet?
Okay, don't go crazy. I was in the water chest deep.
Yeah.
Mama knows how to navigate these things. But we were 3 days into this trip. I was having a lovely time with my family. We were doing things. And I looked down, and I kid you not, it took 3 days for me to recognize that I never shaved my legs. So I was out on this family trip away from home.
In a bathing suit.
Shorts, playing right away from
dresses.
Yes. Did not shave my legs. And
got your toes done, but did not shave your legs. Do you not even shave your legs for the woman who does your pedicures?
No. I don't pay her enough money for that.
In the wintertime, if I am getting a pedicure in the winter, which is rare, I'll still shave my legs just out of respect for the manicurist.
Who's I respecting? She don't care. The money is green.
It makes a difference.
No, it doesn't. It's fine. And I'll be honest. I've not hit this fun midpoint of life where it's not as Sasquatchy as it used to be down there.
Yes.
So it's a lot thinner, but it's still there.
So you're standing in the pool and you realize you're starting to look like Bigfoot.
Yeah. And the thing is, I got immediately mortified. And
it's got to be really bad when you can see the hair growth through water.
Yep. I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, I had not put a lot of effort into that this summer, I will admit. And then I went and I was like, wait, I didn't, girl. And then, you know, it's bad when you talk to yourself like you would talk to a stranger.
Sure.
Like I was like, girl, why would you do that? Did you not notice? And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, like I had sort of this immediate like swell of panic. Like I look like a crazy person. Mm-hmm. And then it immediately settled into, you're all right.
Wow.
I kid you not. And it didn't even occur. Like I wasn't gonna like my first thought, I would say me 5 years ago or 10 years ago would have been like, I need to find a razor right now. I need a depilatory. Let's go. Is there a spa that can wax it? Let's do this. And I was sitting there and I went, okay.
So your husband didn't say anything about this?
No. Nothing.
Would he normally comment on a lack of shaved legs?
I would say most of the time. He would at least make a joke or something about it.
So he gave up as well.
Right. So and I think that's part of it. Like did we make a collective unconscious decision that it's okay that this happened? Like we weren't someplace where we were alone. Mm-hmm. We knew there was no sex on the menu because we were with our kids staying in a little bungalow. It was close quarters. So there was a point where I had everything else together. I looked okay. I'm cute. I'm always cute. But I did not shave my legs. And it was like,
But you didn't make the conscious decision to not shave your legs because in that moment
I forgot.
You were saying, you forgot. So I think it's a little different. But if you're saying you did the rest of the trip, tell me you didn't do the rest of the trip without shaving your legs. Twila, oh my God.
I didn't. I did like the rest of the resort there. Like when we got into the city, I broke down and shaved my legs. Because then once I noticed it, then it bugged me.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that you gave up. Maybe in that moment,
I let it
go.
I let it. But isn't letting it go giving it up?
No, I think there's a difference. I think
Natalie, I don't shave my legs every day anyway.
Well, not every day. You don't need to do it every day.
Okay, how often do you shave your legs?
Probably every couple days.
Okay, I go quarterly.
Whoa. Do you not grow a lot of hair?
No,
I mean,
not
what
really.
is the situation down there?
Not really. But even before then, it was, I live in a cold weather state. So when the cold weather hits,
you grow the hair.
Listen, that's warmth.
So you do no shave November all the time.
Yep. Pretty much. And then when the weather would get nice and it'd be like, okay, skirt weather, then I would clean up for skirt weather.
I guess that's different too if you're talking about that is your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Where you don't shave your legs. There are women who don't shave their underarms.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Pay attention. That was not an issue. So before I get emails from y'all, that is not an issue. I took care of all of the other pertinent parts. It just happened that my legs fell off the list of things to do.
Yeah, I feel like when we talk about giving up on something, where it's more from a point of a review of apathy. Okay. It's an apathetic, like, I give up already.
But I told you already, I wanted to, I think we talked about this a little bit in an earlier podcast. I want to give up on shaving forever. I want to be done with this.
Yeah, so you want to.
I do. So it made it that much easier when I realized I hadn't done it to go, y'all live.
Yeah. And I got to ask, why? Like,
why I don't want to do it?
Well, why do you want to give up on shaving?
Because I've been doing this my whole life. Like, look, there are certain things that as a woman you go through that have nothing to do with anything except societal standards.
Yes.
We only engage in them because people around us do it, so we just want to fit in. Mm-hmm. And so you do it so that you don't get the crap of not fitting in.
Okay, if I lived by myself on a deserted island, I would still shave my legs.
Well, good for you.
I like it. I like it like that. I like that clean, smooth.
Okay, see, if I lived by myself on a deserted island,
you would look like Chewbacca.
Yep. And I wouldn't even wear clothes. So I'd be perfectly happy with that. So, I mean, there are certain things that fall into that category. Like hair removal is a large scale task. If I tally up how much it's cost me in the pain and expense of every type of method of hair removal I've ever tried, whether it be waxing or shaving or or home kits or sugaring or threading. I've done everything.
Yeah.
Screw that. Guys want to do all that. My husband doesn't do all that.
Doesn't he shave his face? Well, he's Asian.
Yeah, so, kitten can take care of that with a bowl of milk. So, there's not a lot that's necessary there. But, but even that, he shaves his face. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. If we're putting out surface area here, if I'm trying to do maintenance to be, what we consider a societal cute,
Sure.
then I'm shaving no less than my armpits, my legs. And I even have a hierarchy for legs. Because remember, I told you, my mother taught me when I was a little kid that anything above the knee was a hussy shave. Who's seeing all that? So
I don't do the hussy shave. I just go up to the knee.
Right.
But I don't grow hair above my knee.
Right. But see, most people like do the hip. Then we're not even talking about the bikini area. We're not even talking about all of this stuff now. I mean, there's all of that. I happen to be a woman who is blessed with a lot of hair, including facial hair. So I've had to remove facial hair ever since I was like 12 years old. That's a lot of work.
Wait.
Yeah.
You're going to stop removing the facial hair.
Well, if I ever stop removing the facial hair, then I'm just giving up the will to live.
Yeah.
Well, no,
We'd have to stop calling you Twila and start calling you Todd.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
I can probably grow a better mustache than my husband at this point. I can certainly grow a better one than my son.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I think the more you tell me about this, the more I think, yes, that would fall into the I've given up category. It's like you just don't want to do it anymore. But at least it's something that for you are comfortable feeling or looking that way. I like it clean. And it got me thinking about, are there things that maybe
I wish I don't like it clean. It's just, it's so much work. Like it
is, but I like the feeling.
I mean, I'm not here trying to change the world. I'm trying to raise some feminists. I'm trying to raise some good humans.
But I think we can do that and still be clean shaven. Let's not go crazy.
No. I could do it and be clean shaven if I could pay somebody to do it for me.
We'll see. And maybe that's the thing. What if it was in your budget to get electrolysis?
Yeah,
or something.
I would do
this.
Honestly, at this point, I'm seriously considering laser hair.
So it's really not so much the being without hair or the having hair; it's the time that it takes to go into doing it.
Yeah.
So maybe more specifically, we're talking about: is it okay to give up, or just give up, or stop doing certain rituals because we're doing them purely because it's a standard that society has set for us?
Yeah, I'm doing it. If I'm doing it for other people, I'm ready to let it go.
Yeah, see that and for me, when it comes to shaving, I do it for myself. But what would be something else? If I'm home alone, even I'll still run a brush through my hair, and I'll still even maybe put on a little lip gloss because I like to feel sexy.
Girl,
even when I'm alone,
so much work.
Running a brush through my hair and
that
putting
is
on a little
so
bit
much
of lip
work.
gloss
Listen,
is not work.
I'm telling you right now. You know why I feel sexy? Anytime I get up and decide I feel sexy. I have never needed anything else to I can be cute and I can be extra cute, but I have always maintained that if what I'm offering is good, if I'm offering it to you, be grateful. And it doesn't require anything fancier than that. I mean, I don't show up looking disheveled, but I don't. If I'm sitting around by myself, I most certainly am not putting on any lip gloss. I am not. No, that is so much
I like
work.
a little. I find when I've had days, if I've been sick and I'm homesick, if I'm not deathly ill, I still will try to put my hair up cute and again do a little bit of lip gloss because it makes me feel better. I feel like feel like I look in the mirror and I'm not mortified, it mentally makes me feel better.
That is so cute.
Yeah, I guess I wish I had the ability to do what you do.
Well, my life motto. This all falls under my life motto. My life motto is what other people think of me is none of my business. Mm-hmm. So most of the time, I don't care if you don't.
Yeah, but the difference too, I'm saying, even when I'm home alone, I want to, do it for myself.
Girl, what I think of myself half the time is none of my business. Because half the time it's just negative. It's the negative soundtrack that's been developed over time that somebody else has put in your head. Like when you hear the inner critic is never your voice; it's somebody else's voice.
Sure.
So I think we all have that inner critic that's like, oh, you're not, I may be extra sensitive to body hair because that was something I got picked on about or something that somebody always gave me crap about. And so, so I invested the time it took to do that to keep other people from saying anything about it. Not because I cared about it, because it mattered to me. It was because it made other people feel more, it made me more palatable to other people. Yeah. As I get older, I don't care about being palatable to anybody.
And that makes sense. But I feel that that people in general are giving up too many things.
Okay.
Not
That's
just
fair.
shaving, but I feel like we've given up on social day-to-day manners. Simple things. Someone holds a door. Thank you.
No, you know what?
Excuse me.
The please and thank you, I think I agree. That is like a huge thing. The idea of giving up on that. We were actually away from home on this trip, and we were someplace that is, I would say the people there are diametrically different than the people we were around here at home. So there was a lot of people just greeting you to be friendly. Like,
sure.
Hi, how are you? Hey, how you doing today? And my kids were freaking out. They were just like, there are strangers talking to us. Why are the strangers talking to us? I'm like, they're being friendly. And I realized where we live, people don't do that. It's
really?
Not, yeah, it's not common.
That's interesting because we live in the same state, but not the same town.
Right.
And half of what exhausts me on my walks on the trail is having to say hi to everybody. And everybody's saying hi to me.
Yeah, see, well, but you're also,
I'm Hawaiian, so we're friendly.
Well, put it this way.
nature.
You talk to everybody anyway.
That's true.
You know me. I walk around. I pretty much walk around with resting bitch face, so most people don't talk to me.
I know my kids always used to complain, why do you have to talk to that person? I'm like, well, I'm here to get the car washed. She asked how my day was. I asked about hers and was curious about something. And
yes, and I can sometimes get caught into those kind of conversations, but I don't think it's a natural set of circumstances for me most of the time for people to just sort of say hi, like speak.
Mm-hmm.
And where we were at, I mean, I reveled in it. I grew up in the South, so I loved, it didn't matter if it was the doorman at the lobby of the hotel or one of the guests getting out of the elevator or escalator or something. It was like everybody was like, "Hi, how you doing today?"
Sure.
And I was just like, "I'm good. How are you?" Like I loved it, and my kids were just like, "What is going on?"
That makes sense, Twila, because I went on a trip recently. Tony and I went out of town, and I was just my normal. I went up to someone. I said, "Oh, excuse me, could I please have blah blah blah, whatever it was?"
Mm-hmm.
And this went on a few times, and I would get some odd looks. And he told me, he said, "Babe, you're being too friendly. People are suspicious of you because no one talks like that here."
Yep. And that's how it is. That's how it is here. I feel like that's how it is where we live.
I'm like, I'm sorry, that's who I am.
Yeah, but I think that's a very real thing. I mean, and I think part of that is what makes it sad is because it's sort of regional. It kind of helps erode the idea of like giving up on things like social graces because in the absence of those things, it basically keeps you from getting yourself into trouble because you're not engaging at all. So it's easier to not engage than to try to engage and come off strangely or weirdly or in a way that kind of makes somebody uncomfortable with you. You don't want people to be uncomfortable with you.
No, and I think it's interesting as well. I think the question might even be, what do we wish we could give up on? Because if you talk about, I'm all for social niceties, but I don't like small talk. If I'm going to talk to you, I want to talk about something that's real.
See, I don't mind small talk because I like interesting people. I like quirky people.
Yeah, but small talk to me is, oh, what a beautiful day it is.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Oh, isn't this a great game? Like, no, I want to know, what happened that really pissed you off yesterday.
Yes, I don't need to know. No, I don't know.
How's your marriage?
Yes, no. I don't need that much conversation on you.
But real topics, you know, and that's I know I struggle sometimes at social events because I'm not good at small talk.
You see, now I'm not good at starting it, but I'm good at it sort of rolling into it. Like I don't and I said I love a quirky person. If you show up, perfect example, like on my birthday this past year, we went to a restaurant. And I kid you not, halfway through dinner, somebody walked through the door, full mime. I'm not kidding. Makeup, the white face.
To eat at the restaurant or perform?
To eat. And they were coming for happy hour at the bar. Had the outfit on, had the bowler hat, the whole kit.
Did they do any miming or did this person speak?
Well, when I saw him across the restaurant, I went, this feels like a present. Like I can't possibly be in the same room with you on my birthday and not go up and engage with you.
When you're asking to be engaged with, if you show up in full mime gear at a bar.
But where we live at, the majority of the restaurant saw him, were totally like me, like, that's a mime. And then proceeded to pretend like they didn't see the mime because that's what we're expected to do here is to like just go on and act like don't let things get you out of your nature. I was the opposite. I was like, my phone's dead. Babe, give me your phone. Give me your phone. Somebody else.
Did you get a picture with the mime?
Totally. And I walked up and I immediately said, "You're amazing. You're fabulous. I have no idea what you're doing, but I want a part of whatever it is today because it is my birthday and I feel like I deserve it." And and he laughed and then we talked about it and it turned out he had just come from work. He was doing a performance with some other people and was meeting up for happy hour and just thought it'd be laugh to show up in the costume.
I had no idea you were so into mimes.
I'm just no, it's not even that. I'm just into quirky people. If he had shown up dressed, like a flower, I would have been like, he's dressed like a flower. Where's my camera? Like I would. Yeah, sure. I love when people don't put themselves in the comfortable
fitting in with the
box.
Scenery.
Yeah,
sure.
I love when people put themselves in a position where they're okay to stand out because they're comfortable standing out.
You know what I love? And I see them almost every time I travel, never here at home, almost every time I travel, and I did on a recent trip. And I always take it as a good omen. I love little people.
Yes, you do.
But they don't want me to touch them.
No, because you always do. You always treat them like a novelty instead
Not
of
like
people.
babies. I just feel
I know
like
you treat them like a novelty.
Fascinating.
and your love and your fascination with little people is longstanding. I do know this.
Oh, you go to my Facebook page. One of my featured photos is a picture of me in Greece at the Acropolis, talking to a little person. One of my friends took it.
Yeah, and you're so and I love that you have this enthusiasm. Your face fully lights up. But I'm always trying to remind you, like, but remember, they're still people.
And I recognize they're people.
They're not like My Little Ponies. You can't just put them in your pocket.
I've never had the opportunity to really get to know a little person. I want to know what life is like from their perspective, what it's like to go through life.
But see, that I think that speaks to who you are, because you want to know more about their actual experience. Mm-hmm. I'm sort of I mean, it's interesting if we get that far in a conversation, but I'm okay if our contact is minimum. Like I don't like, so the guy that showed up dressed like a clown, like a mime. I was just fascinated why, like, today happened to be Thursday. Why you show up dressed like a mime? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Sure. And then, we had a little bit of small talk, and we took a photo together, and he wished me happy birthday, and I wished him a good night, and we went on about our way. I didn't need to know any more of his story than that. It was just, it kind of got collected in the collective experience.
Yeah, because miming is what he does. It's not who he is.
Yeah, and I don't always need to know the whole and entirety of you. Now, if we have an opportunity and I'm sitting there and we happen to be at dinner or whatever, then then we can totally engage with that. That's amazing. But it's not required. I don't feel like the interaction wasn't useful just because it happened to be a surface interaction. Sometimes amazing things can come out of surface interactions.
I think back to our topic, if you talk about what is it okay to give up? I was kind of working through this. Things like, and these are things I've shared that I've given up on. I've long ago given up on trying to put forth that I'm just the most amazing parent ever.
That's true. You've given up on that.
I gave up on that years ago. I gave up on that probably sooner than I should have. Not that I didn't try and strive, to be a good parent. I think we always do that. But the idea of having to put forward that I am.
Right.
I got very comfortable with, I don't know.
But the thing is, I think even some of that isn't necessarily giving up on it. I think
what's giving up on feeling that I needed to put out this image. I got very comfortable, and I noticed still to this day there are other parents who aren't as comfortable with it. We'll be sitting at a soccer game, and it'll be they'll be talking about the game and ask me a question. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm in my head. I'm making a grocery list. Is it over yet? This is not fun. If it's bad weather, it's not fun for me. When it's good weather, I love it.
Well, do you think that part of the idea of is it okay to give up? Do you think that it comes back to is it okay to break the social contract? Because I think that's what it comes down to. Because I'll be honest. Do I, like, going back to the beginning? Do I shave my legs for my husband primarily? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do I shave my legs primarily because if I'm walking around in skirt or shorts, it's expected that it would look that way? Yeah. So when I caught myself not doing it, like I said, I had that moment of panic, but then I immediately went, he knows me. And if he had a huge problem with it, he would say so. And we have enough of an understanding between each other that if it was really bothersome, I'd take care of it. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, it was like, none of you people know me. And if I care about what you think, I won't enjoy this actual trip we went on and paid money for. So my thought was, if you actually are putting any effort into the idea that I haven't shaved my legs and you don't know me, I feel bad for you because we're both sitting in this beautiful place looking at the ocean. You should be looking at the ocean.
Yeah. And I think when you say, is it okay to give up on breaking, the social contract? I think when it's in terms of no one's being harmed, I don't think it's ever okay to be rude.
Really?
That's a social contract that we have.
No, don't say that because I like to do that. I'll be honest, I break that part of the social contract all the time. If I feel like people are being inappropriate with my boundaries, I break that social contract in a heartbeat to put you back in your place.
But then that is valid, Twila. That's in a situation where someone is, crossing a boundary and you need to say, hey, that's a boundary for me. Or you know what? I'm not comfortable with you talking about that. That's not you being rude. I'm talking rude, being rude to somebody who's waiting on you in a restaurant or just being rude in pub. One of my big pet peeves are when I see a couple out and, kids, no kids, doesn't matter. Just a couple. And one just says something in a real nasty way to their partner, I just cringe.
But see, that's
like,
not
is
breaking.
That how you talk to that person?
But see, that's not breaking the social contract, because that's an exchange between the two of them. That's not an exchange.
But they're
between
doing it in public.
Yeah, but that's just an extent. But that's kind of that continuation. Like, even going back to what we said about a vacation versus a family trip.
But I feel like that's you've given up. Like, you're not even trying to respect your partner if you're going to speak that way. And to me, it's a whole nother situation to disrespect your partner in a public setting.
But see, I think that's an extension of what people are already. That I don't think it matters to them if it's public or private,
because they already gave up at home.
Yeah, like, I think they've already been doing that. That's the dynamic that they've established. Like, that's why I always talk about a family trip being taking our chaos from home and applying it to a different location. Sure. But the same arguments my kids had at home in our house or at the Target here in town were the same ones they had in the airport and at the location and in the hotel. In the Target in that city. It was, and I treated it the same way with the extra caveat of don't have me out here in a place where we don't even live acting like a clown. Like that was like the only extra thing I could add to it was like, listen, I can embarrass you, or I can really embarrass you in a place where we don't even know people.
Sure.
And then it was, like there was still sort of that weird dance of negotiation of what the social contract is. For me, the social contract was still the same. It was, I'm going to get a handle on the situation. I'm either going to get a handle on it in a way that allows you to exit peacefully and quietly, or I'm going to do it in a way that makes you red-faced and embarrassed that I'm related to you.
Well, but that's different, I think, too, when you're talking about your children, because not enough people control their children in public the way that they should.
Right, but
the way that you do.
But see, I think that's still all a part of that whole established, this is the contract we establish amongst ourselves. So, and that, to me, that goes back to the whole, like, what other people think of me is none of my business. So these people, the couple might be having this exchange that we think is really disrespectful, but amongst themselves, that's what they've signed on to. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what they've assigned.
But don't you think it's a part of the social contract and manners to not, be doing that kind of stuff? Whether it's arguing or saying something really nasty to your partner,
I would hope so.
With like 5 other people standing right there.
Yeah, I would hope so. I think that's what we would hope would happen in a civilized society. But I think we've seen again and again, by and large, that perception winds up being reality. And we don't, and the thing is, we can't read into situations, which makes it very difficult to, which is why it's difficult to look for cues, even with like somebody needs help or somebody's like in a bad position. You really wind up having to look for an extreme cue to sort of engage you to go, oh, okay, I have to, I should, or we should, or somebody should intervene into whatever this is. Yeah. Because we see people be rude to each other all the time. I mean, I'm probably guilty of that. I'm sure me and my husband have been guilty of, snapping at each other in front of people and not intending to, but letting the heat of the moment, get to you. But I think that all becomes part of that sort of
But don't you think that's something, though, that you wouldn't give up on? Like, I'm going to give up just, not snapping at my husband. I'm just going to snap at him all the time.
I think that's one of those red flags. When you start to give up on that particular part of the social cue, even the one you decide amongst yourself, I think you see that a lot when you see couples that are breaking down. Yeah. When they've given up on the civility, when they've given up on the, the idea of, for the sake of, looking a certain way, they just don't try.
And I think, though, that is part of my point of when you talk about giving up on certain things. And you said, okay, not shaving your legs, not a big deal for your husband. Yeah. I feel really strongly, and with Tony and I, the way we speak to each other at home and the way we speak to each other in public is universal, but we work hard.
It should be. It should
to say, oh, could you please grab me another cup of coffee, while you're up? Or if he's getting up, he's always saying to me, is there anything that I can get you while I'm up? And I'm always saying, thank you, or no, thank you. This is when we're home alone.
Well, and I'll tell you, that's, my parents are, to me, a good example of that. My parents, I'm 43 years old. My parents have been married almost 45 years. They've never had an argument in front of us. They've never actually fought in front of us, which blows my mind that I've never actually seen them argue or get angry with each other like that in front of us. I can't say that I've been successful at that in my own marriage and with my own children. I think my children have seen us get angry with each other or have a disagreement. And
Mm-hmm.
my part of that social contract with my husband and with my kids is to try, one, to make sure that those episodes are very few and far between.
Yeah.
And to try to handle it like a mature adult in front of them. But if we do have those moments, I try to make sure that we sit down, whether it's individually or as a group, and talk to the kids about disagreements and how you handle disagreements, and that it's okay that you have them, and that anger is a healthy emotion to have if you put it in the right context. You know, that it can drive progress, not have my kids think that anytime that we raise our voice even a little, their family's breaking up. That, we should talk about these things in context.
When you see it too, and I think you see it often in families with multiple siblings, how the siblings treat each other.
Oh yeah.
Often mirrors how they've seen their parents treat each other.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Did you think it's okay to talk to somebody like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I love the idea of never having a disagreement or fight in front of your kids. It's not, and you might say, well, that's not realistic. It actually is. It
is. And
it takes work. You got to stop in that moment and go, you know what, let's chat about this later. And it might be in that moment you excuse yourselves to go chat about it. But what your parents did was really model that on, we're going to communicate this out. However they dealt with it outside of that. Right. Really modeled that idea of respecting the person that you're with and seeing that.
Yeah, they were always united front. Like it was understood under all circumstances. They were always united front. Yep. And I think
that's huge.
And I think I struggle as a middle kid wanting to be a united front, but wanting to make sure that as a middle kid, the voice that I have gets heard. Yeah. So then we have to, so then I have to always be mindful of like I told you, we've talked about that before. I used to spoil for a fight. Because it was something I excelled at. I am a wordsmith. I like to talk. So if we're going to get into it, I know I'm going to win. And that was a lot of growth on my part, was not engaging in those things just to engaging them, and not to do it in a way that, like making sure if I'm having a disagreement that it's something that there is no winner or loser, that there is, just a good outcome for everybody involved. Yeah. And you have to actually develop that. I mean, I think that's part of that idea of, giving up. Is it okay to give up too? Like if you're in something and you're invested in it long term, where are the give and takes in that? Like I would never compromise on what kind of parent I want to be. I don't compromise on what kind of wife I want to be. I might compromise on, how I present myself physically. I said my default setting is hobo a lot of the time. but everybody knows that it's not, I'm not disheveled. I don't look like
You're
homeless.
Clean.
Yeah, like I bathe, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair. All of those things are important. Yeah. But there are some things that I just, I know in the collective, it won't kill you that I'm not getting manis and petties all the time.
No. And
I'm not a makeup girl. I maybe wear makeup twice a year. But I make sure that my skin is clean so that if I'm not wearing makeup, my skin looks nice.
Yeah. And that is a good example of the difference between giving up apathetically on something versus I'm giving up on the expectation that I need to wear makeup most of the time. Yeah. Kind of a thing. Yeah. I'm not employing that. I'm not doing that. And that's a good example of, I think when we talk about, is it okay to give up, where it's, as we keep referring to it as that social rule. It's what you're comfortable with. Not everyone, no one needs to wear makeup. It should to as a rule.
Yeah, it's even the idea of like, is it okay to give up? Like where the level is?
But
that
you still need to look clean.
Yeah, please
put together.
Like please don't take my words and
run a brush.
Yeah, and be like, Twila says she don't bathe. I do. I didn't shave, but I do bathe. There you go. So I suppose at the end of it, we should really ask the question and make sure we actually answer it. Is it okay to give up?
Yes, and I think we determined the things that it is okay to give up on.
Yeah, shaving.
Yeah.
That's it.
Shaving your legs if you choose to give up on that and no longer do it. Yes. I'm speaking to somebody you care about disrespectfully at home or in public. No, you should never give up on that. You should continue to strive to work on that.
Yeah, exactly. So I will do better. I promise the next trip that I take out of the territory.
I'm just not going to look at your legs ever if you're wearing shorts.
I'm just going to wear long pants from now on.
Hide it.
Long pants are my friend. All right. As always, we want to hear what you think. We want to hear your opinions. Go to the Facebook page. Go to Matriarch Digital Media on Facebook. You should like the page if you haven't already. Mm-hmm. And there's a lovely little send message option. Click on that option and send us a message. Just mark it hashtag Twila and Natalie and let us know what the question is and what you think of it. We want to hear your opinions. Do you agree with us? Are there specific places where it's okay to give up that we haven't thought about?
Yeah, what would you like to give up on?
Yeah, please feel free to let us know, because I'm always looking for things to give up. And if you have a good one, I will give it up with you. It'll be Solidarity Sister. So as always, we enjoy doing the show, and thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon.